When a woman walks in divine favor, doors open, wisdom flows, peace reigns, the right people align, and supernatural provision follows. Are you walking in that kind of favor? There's something extraordinary about a woman walking in divine favor. She moves differently, speaks with wisdom, carries a peace that defies understanding, and sees doors open that others struggle to access. She is not just lucky, she is chosen, set apart, and marked by the hand of God. Her life is not free from struggles, but there is an undeniable grace that follows her, a supernatural covering that makes even the impossible possible. If you've ever wondered whether God's favor is upon you, or if you desire to walk in His divine blessing with confidence and authority, this message is for you. There are clear signs that distinguish a woman walking in divine favor, and when you recognize them in your own life, everything changes. You stop striving and start trusting. You stop fearing and start walking in faith. Today we are diving deep into these powerful signs, real biblical truths that reveal how God's favor manifests in the life of a woman who is surrendered to Him. These are not just feel-good statements, they are spiritual realities that will transform the way you see yourself and your journey. And by the end of this message, you will not only be able to recognize the evidence of divine favor, but you will be empowered to walk in it fully, boldly, and without hesitation. So, stay with me until the end, because this is not just another message, it's a divine appointment. God is speaking, and I believe this word is meant to awaken something within you, to remind you of who you are and the favor you carry. Let's begin. A woman walking in divine favor experiences open doors that she never knocked on, opportunities that seem to arise without effort, and breakthroughs that defy human reasoning. This is not luck, coincidence, or sheer hard work. It is the unmistakable evidence of God's hand guiding, positioning, and blessing her in ways beyond her imagination. Divine favor operates in the unseen realms long before it manifests in the natural. It is the supernatural alignment of events, people, and circumstances that lead a woman exactly where she needs to be. While others toil and strive, trying to force opportunities to open, she finds herself stepping into places she never even sought. This is not a sign of laziness, nor does it mean she never puts in effort. Rather, it means that her effort is accompanied by divine acceleration, where God moves ahead of her, preparing the way before she even arrives. Consider the biblical stories of women who walked in divine favor. Esther was a young Jewish girl, unknown and without influence, yet she found herself positioned in the palace of a great king. She did not campaign for this honor, she did not manipulate her way into royalty. Instead, God orchestrated events that led her from obscurity to prominence because His favor was upon her. The doors that others could not open for themselves swung wide open for her, not because of who she was, but because of who was with her. A woman walking in divine favor does not waste time banging on closed doors that are not meant for her. She understands that when God's favor is upon her, she does not need to manipulate, beg, or compromise her values to enter the places she is called to. The right doors will open at the right time. When the favor of God is working, promotion comes without striving, relationships are established without force, and new paths emerge without confusion. This is because God is both the architect of her destiny and the key holder to her future. There are moments in life when divine favor opens doors without explanation. It may be a job opportunity that comes out of nowhere, an unexpected financial breakthrough, a connection with the right people at the perfect moment, or a sudden turn of events that shifts everything in the right direction. These moments are evidence that God is working behind the scenes, moving pieces into place that no human effort could arrange. However, favor does not always mean ease. Sometimes, The doors that open lead to responsibility, stretching, and preparation for greater things. The favor that took Esther to the palace did not mean a life of comfort. It meant she was positioned for God's greater purpose. The favor that placed Mary in the divine story of Jesus' birth did not remove hardship. It called her into a life of sacrifice, faith, and surrender. A woman who walks in divine favor must also walk in trust and obedience. She does not fear the unknown because she knows who is leading her. She does not rush ahead because she knows that God's timing is perfect. She does not envy others because she understands that the favor upon her life is uniquely designed for her calling and purpose. When a woman experiences open doors without striving, it is not a sign of her own greatness, but of God's goodness. It is His way of saying, "I am with you, I have called you, I am leading you where you need to be." Those who recognize this favor and walk humbly in it will continue to see doors open, opportunities unfold, and paths clear, not because they chased after favor, but because they chased after God Himself. A woman walking in divine favor carries an unshakable peace, even in the midst of chaos, a peace that does not come from circumstances but from her deep trust in God. This peace is not merely the absence of trouble, but the presence of divine assurance, an inner stillness that remains even when storms rage around her. It is the kind of peace that cannot be explained by logic or reason, a supernatural calm that testifies to God's favor upon her life. This kind of woman does not crumble when faced with adversity because she understands that her security is not in people, possessions, or even in her own strength. Her confidence is in the unchanging nature of God. When others panic, she remains steadfast. When others are overwhelmed by fear, she stands firm, not because she is immune to pain or trial, but because she knows who holds her future. She does not allow the voices of doubt, fear, or discouragement to dictate her response. Instead, she listens to the still, small voice of God that reassures her. "Be still and know that I am God." The presence of divine favor does not mean a life without storms. Even Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble." But He also said, "Take heart, for I have overcome the world." A woman walking in divine favor understands that trials will come, but they do not have the power to steal her peace. She has learned that real peace is not found in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of God in the midst of it. The world teaches that peace is tied to control. The idea that if everything goes according to plan, then one can be at rest. But a woman walking in divine favor knows that true peace comes from surrender. She does not need to control every detail of her life, because she trusts in the one who is in control of all things. When unexpected difficulties arise, she does not waste her energy trying to fight battles that belong to the Lord. Instead, she stands in quiet confidence, knowing that God is already working on her behalf. This peace sets her apart. People notice that she does not react the way the world does. When others are anxious, she remains calm. When others are offended, she chooses grace. When others are fearful, she walks in boldness. It is not that she does not feel the weight of life's challenges, but she refuses to be buried by them. She knows that God's favor is not just about external blessings, it is about internal strength, the kind that comes from knowing she is held in the hands of the Almighty. This peace is her testimony. It speaks louder than words, drawing others to wonder what sustains her. People may question, how can you remain so calm when everything seems to be falling apart? And her answer is simple, because my peace does not come from the world, it comes from God. This is the kind of peace that turns trials into testimonies, fear into faith, and despair into hope. Even in the darkest moments, she refuses to let worry consume her. She understands that fear does not come from God, and she refuses to let it take root in her heart. Instead, she replaces fear with faith, anxiety with prayer, and worry with worship. She knows that divine favor is not about a perfect, pain-free life, but about the presence of God walking with her through every valley. This peace is not passive, it is powerful. It is the kind of peace that strengthens, that sustains, that allows her to keep moving forward when others would give up. It is the peace that guarded Daniel in the lion's den, that sustained Esther before the king, and that kept Mary strong at the foot of the cross. It is a mark of divine favor, a gift from God that allows her to walk through life unshaken, knowing that she is covered, protected, and deeply loved by the one who holds the universe in his hands. A woman walking in divine favor possesses an uncommon wisdom and discernment that sets her apart. This is not simply intelligence or experience, it is a supernatural ability to see beyond the surface, to perceive truth when others are deceived, and to make decisions that align with God's will. She does not rely solely on human reasoning, but on the wisdom that comes from above. This wisdom is not earned through education or acquired through years of living. It is a divine gift, an impartation from the Spirit of God that allows her to navigate life with clarity and confidence. She is not easily swayed by emotions, nor is she deceived by appearances. While others may be drawn to what looks good on the outside, she has the ability to see beyond the external and recognize what is truly valuable. She discerns when something is from God and when it is merely a distraction. She recognizes when a door is opened by divine favor and when it is a trap disguised as an opportunity. This wisdom protects her from making costly mistakes, from forming the wrong relationships, and from being ensnared by the enemy's schemes. Because of this wisdom, she often finds herself in positions of influence. People seek her counsel, even those who are older or more experienced, because they recognize that she carries an insight that is not of this world. Like Deborah in the Bible, she has a wisdom that brings solutions. Like Abigail, she has the discernment to diffuse conflict before it escalates. Like Esther, she knows when to speak and when to remain silent, when to wait and when to act. This wisdom is a shield. It keeps her from being led by impulse or pressured by the expectations of others. When faced with a difficult decision, she does not rush or act out of fear. She seeks the face of God. She understands that wisdom is not just about knowing what to do, but about understanding God's timing and His methods. Some decisions may seem right in the moment but lead to destruction, while others require patience before their full blessing is revealed. She trusts that God's wisdom will guide her, even when the path is unclear. Discernment is her weapon against deception. In a world where truth is often distorted and falsehood is disguised as wisdom, she remains unshaken because she is anchored in divine truth. She does not believe every voice, nor is she moved by every trend. She can sense when something is not right, even when there is no obvious reason to doubt it. This is the favor of God preserving her, keeping her from unnecessary pain and leading her in the way she should go. Her words carry weight. When she speaks, her words are filled with wisdom and grace, not idle talk or meaningless chatter. She does not waste time on gossip, nor does she speak without thinking. She knows that words have power to build or to destroy, to encourage or to mislead. Because she walks in divine favor, her words bring life, healing, and guidance to those who hear them. Her wisdom brings her peace. She does not fear the future because she is not blindly walking into it. She is led by God's wisdom. She does not waste time regretting the past because she has learned from it and has been refined by the lessons God has taught her. She moves forward with confidence, not in herself, but in the wisdom God has given her. This wisdom makes her a leader even when she does not seek leadership. It gives her influence even when she does not chase after recognition. It grants her favor with people not because she is trying to impress them, but because they recognize that she carries something rare, the wisdom of God Himself. A woman walking in divine favor finds herself surrounded by the right people at the right time. She does not have to strive for connections or manipulate her way into important circles because God Himself places her among those who will uplift, support, and align with His purpose for her life. Favor does not operate in isolation. It works through relationships, through divine appointments that open doors, bring wisdom, and lead to greater purpose. She understands that every connection in her life has a purpose. Some people are there to sharpen her, some to push her forward, and some to walk alongside her in faith. She does not chase after approval or force friendships that are not ordained by God. She is not desperate for validation because she knows that the favor on her life will attract the right people at the right time. She refuses to compromise her values just to fit in because she knows that divine favor will position her exactly where she needs to be. She is confident in her identity, and that confidence allows her to walk away from relationships that do not align with her calling. She does not waste time trying to hold on to people whom God is removing from her life. She trusts that if someone leaves, it is because they were not assigned to her destiny. There is a supernatural connection that happens when a woman is walking in divine favor. She finds herself drawn to mentors, leaders, and visionaries who pour wisdom into her. She is surrounded by friends who speak life over her, who pray for her, who challenge her to grow in faith. She is given favor with people of influence, not for her own benefit, but because God wants to use her for a greater purpose. Just as Esther was given favor with King Xerxes, just as Ruth found favor with Boaz, just as Mary was chosen to carry the Son of God, divine favor places her in rooms she never expected, speaking with people she never imagined, gaining influence she never sought. Her relationships are marked by divine alignment. She does not entertain toxic friendships or unequally yoked partnerships because she understands that the company she keeps will shape her future. She values discernment over popularity, purpose over comfort, and godly connections over worldly influence. She understands that some people may look good on the surface, but will lead her away from God's plan. That is why she seeks wisdom before allowing anyone into her inner circle. The favor on her life is evident in how people respond to her. Even those who do not share her faith cannot deny that there is something different about her. She carries a presence, an anointing that draws others in. People listen when she speaks, not because she demands attention, but because the Spirit of God is upon her. Her words carry weight, her presence commands respect, and her influence expands without striving. This divine favor is not about social status or earthly success. It is about purpose. Every connection, every relationship, every person God brings into her life has a role in His greater plan. Whether it is a spiritual mentor who guides her, a friend who encourages her, or even an adversary who pushes her closer to God, she sees every relationship through the lens of purpose. She does not take divine connections for granted, and she does not ignore the warning signs when a relationship is no longer aligned with God's will. Because of this favor, she is never alone. Even in seasons where she feels isolated, she knows that God is working behind the scenes to bring the right people into her life. She does not rush His timing, nor does she settle for less than what He has planned. She waits with confidence, knowing that divine favor will always surround her with the right people at the right time for the right purpose. A woman walking in divine favor experiences supernatural provision in every area of her life. This provision is not limited to finances, but extends to her spiritual, emotional, and physical needs. She does not live in constant fear of lack, because she knows that the God who called her will also sustain her. She understands that favor is not about accumulating wealth, but about receiving exactly what she needs at exactly the right time. While others may strive and struggle to make ends meet, she walks in an assurance that her needs are already accounted for in heaven. She does not panic when resources seem scarce because she has seen God provide in miraculous ways. She remembers how the widow in Zarephath thought she had nothing left, yet God multiplied her oil and flour. She recalls how the Israelites were fed with manna from heaven in the wilderness. She is reminded of how Jesus fed the 5,000 with just a few loaves and fish. These stories are not just historical events to her, they are living testimonies of what God is still doing today. She knows that His favor ensures that she will never lack what is necessary to fulfill her purpose. Her provision is often unexplainable. She may receive unexpected opportunities, financial breakthroughs, divine connections, or doors opening where there seem to be none. Sometimes it comes through people who feel led to bless her, not because she asked, but because God moved on their hearts. Other times it comes through wisdom, God giving her the strategy and insight to maximize what she has, stretch her resources, or find creative solutions to problems. She does not operate in a mindset of scarcity, but in the abundance of God's kingdom. She does not live in fear of the future because she knows that just as God provided yesterday, He will provide today and tomorrow. She does not hold on to material things with clenched fists, afraid of losing them, because she understands that provision is a constant flow from heaven. She is generous, knowing that when she gives, she does not decrease, but rather increases. She has learned that divine favor does not just mean receiving, it means being positioned as a vessel through which God can bless others. Her provision is not only about money, but about strength, wisdom, and divine help in times of need. She finds that God provides the right words when she does not know what to say. He provides peace when anxiety tries to take over. He provides divine strength when she feels weak, joy when sorrow tries to overwhelm her, and endurance when the road ahead looks impossible. She recognizes that her provision is not a result of her own efforts, but of God's grace and favor upon her life. She does not compare herself to others or envy what they have, because she knows that her provision is tailor-made for her journey. What God provides for one may not be what He provides for another, and she is at peace with that. She does not chase after wealth for its own sake, nor does she measure her value by material possessions. Instead, she seeks the kingdom of God first, knowing that all other things will be added unto her. Even in times of waiting, when provision has not yet manifested, she does not waver in faith. She trusts that delays are not denials and that God is never late. She refuses to complain or despair because she understands that provision often comes in ways she does not expect. She remains faithful, continues to sow seeds of faith, and watches as God provides in His perfect way. She knows that supernatural provision is not about living a life of luxury, but about living a life of divine purpose, fully supplied for the mission God has placed before her. When a woman walks in divine favor, it is evident in every aspect of her life. She steps into doors she never knocked on, carries a supernatural peace that surpasses understanding, moves with wisdom and discernment beyond her years, is surrounded by the right people at the right time, and experiences God's supernatural provision in ways that defy logic. Her life is not perfect, nor is she exempt from trials, but she is set apart by the unmistakable hand of God guiding her, protecting her, and positioning her for His greater purpose. Divine favor is not something she strives for. It is something she receives by walking closely with the Lord, surrendering to His will and trusting in His perfect timing. She does not chase after favor. Instead, she chases after God, and in doing so, favor chases after her. She is not moved by fear, distractions, or the opinions of others, because she knows that what God has for her cannot be taken away. She remains steadfast in faith, knowing that every blessing, every opportunity, and every provision is not a result of her own efforts, but a reflection of God's goodness and grace over her life. As you reflect on these signs of divine favor, I encourage you to walk boldly in faith, to trust in God's timing, and to remain in His presence. You are not just another person going through life, you are a woman of divine purpose, carrying the favor of God wherever you go. May you continue to see His hand at work in your life, opening doors, granting wisdom, surrounding you with the right people, and supplying your every need. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your hearts open to receiving this message. May God bless you abundantly, and may His divine favor be evident in every step you take.